Well, I'm guessing this is the end of the run for the Miami Heat. And I got a lot of points I got to go over in this video. But, yeah, so Jimmy Butler wants out of Miami. I'm not surprised. The way we handled this situation with Jimmy Butler, I don't blame him. I blame this on Pat Riley, 100%. Everyone likes to overrate Pat Riley and call him the Godfather and this and that, but Pat Riley has not done anything for this team since the Big Three era. And I can argue, even during that time, that was more of a Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, at the Olympics get-together type of deal. And honestly, Miami wasn't their first destination. It was actually Chicago or the Knicks. Miami was like a third destination for the Big Three to team up with. So a lot of this quote-unquote Godfather shit, Heat culture garbage, it's bullshit. And I'm going to be I'm going to be a realist with you. I'm not going to play politics like a lot of other Heat fans do on these channels. I'm going to be honest with you. Pat Riley has not done anything for this team that's worthy of. The only thing he's done was help Mickey Arison save a lot of money. And I think that's pretty much what Pat Riley was really hired for. But as far as winning, he hasn't done anything. I'm sorry. Jimmy Butler came to this team because of Dwayne Wade. If some people don't remember that. He wants a trade. I'll probably make a separate video of what teams he should go to or what we should get back for him. But right now, this is more of a raw emotion video of me. And I also want to thank Jimmy Butler for trying. Jimmy Butler has got us to 2 finals, to 4 conference finals. He's embodied what the Heat culture is supposed to be. Hard work, grit, grind. And I've always liked Jimmy Butler because that's always been the type of player he's been. Even from the Chicago Tom Thibodeau days. I've always liked Jimmy Butler. That was always a great product. A lot of this stuff that the Miami Heat instills into players, Jimmy Butler already had instilled into him. I've watched Jimmy Butler his whole career, and I watched him develop into a star that he is today. Now, he's a little bit long in the tooth, and he's older now. But I watched him with the Timberwolves. I watched him with the Sixers. I watched him with the Bulls. I watched all of Jimmy Butler's career, and he has worked. He's one of my favorite players, guys. I've never really said this, but he's always been one of my favorite players because of the two-way type of archetype he has and the work ethic he has. And to see him want out of this team, I don't blame him, but it sucks because I thought he was going to be a Heat lifer forever, but it seems that that's not going to be the deal. And even if we do keep him for the rest of the season, guy, and we don't trade him, he's going to leave during free agency. So he clearly has no intentions of being with this team, and that's quite understandable. I don't blame him. Pat Riley has not built a team around him to compete for a championship. Not a championship team. They have got no one in free agency that's been prominent. And I honestly, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all for wanting out. Once we do trade him or once he leaves during free agency, I know this is not going to happen, but this is not going to be popular what I say, but I want Pat Riley gone. I think Pat Riley should retire. Pat Riley's done some good things, and he's done a lot of bad things. And as of now, I think I'm over Pat Riley. I think he's 80 years old. He's old. He needs to be at home, man. He's an old guy. He needs to be at home. I think it's time for Pat Riley to be gone. I think we need another general manager. I know Andy is really our general manager and Pat's like the overseer or whatever, but I think Pat Riley needs to enjoy the last couple years of his life retired, and I think he needs to go. I also think Eric Spoelstra needs to be fired. I think he needs to go too. I'm done with the Eric Spoelstra experiment. I'm done with this type of patriarch or this team that we run. I'm over that stuff. I want a new clean slate. I'm not a big fan of tanking guys, but we have to make a lot of decisions come this offseason. Who we're going to keep and who we're not going to keep. I think, the infamous video of me shitting on Tyler Hero when he got drafted. I've already made a video saying that I was wrong, and I still am wrong to this day. Tyler Hero is the guy that I thought is the guy I didn't think he would be. So, kudos to him. I like Tyler Hero a lot, and I think he is the future of this team. Bam Adebayo, I don't think he's necessarily an offensive threat or a future offensive guy on this team, but I do believe he's a piece that we should keep. But he is in the later 20s. He's like 26 or 27 now. So he's 20, I think he's 27 actually, or 28. He's you're going to have to do something with him because he's actually in his prime now. So either you trade him and just start all the way over, or you're going to have to find someone to replace Jimmy Butler. But something's going to have to give. Triple J, Nikola Jovic. I think Nikola Jovic is going to be the next guy up with Tyler Hero. I think you're going to have to... I think he's going to have to be pushed as the top guy on this team, or the next to Tyler Hero as a top offensive threat. I think it's time. Terry Rozier, he needs to be traded. I'm over that experiment. The only reason we had Terry Rozier on this team was to complement Jimmy Butler and try to compete for a championship, but that's out the window. So Terry Rozier has no reason to be here. You trade him to a contender. Khalil Ware, obviously, when you get rid of Eric Spoelstra, you get a coach that's out, you're going to use him consistently, and actually you're going to start him next to Bam. That needs to happen. And, the rest of this, like Duncan Robinson, if you can, trade him. We have no need for Duncan Robinson anymore on this team. There's just a lot of guys, and Duncan Robinson is more of an Eric Spoelstra guy. So once Eric Spoelstra goes, you can get rid of Duncan Robinson. But there's just a lot of guys on this team that need to be traded. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed after this season. There needs to be an overhaul, and it needs to come from Mickey Arison. But I think Mickey Arison, he's one of those owners that necessarily don't care about this team's success or not. I think he's just a businessman, and that's whatever. I respect that. He has a cruise line that he needs to really be worried about. And I've been on a couple of the Carnival cruises out there in Dane County or Port Lauderdale, Miami. Like I've been to a couple of those Carnival cruises. They're nice, but that's just a side note. But I think that's more of what he's focused on is his cruise line. I don't think Miami Heat is really that big on his priority list necessarily. I think this is just a money-making machine, and just having a big star name on a team like the Miami Heat is enough. I think Jimmy Butler's a big enough of a star name for I think this is considered a medium-sized market. So now that Jimmy Butler's gone, now that Dwayne Wade's not here, now that LeBron James and all these other big names are gone, they're probably going to be trying to go for the big fish again. And that's realistically what's going to happen with this team, because I don't think he really cares about long-term success. I think he's more of I need a big name on this team. I need an all-star on this team to keep this market valuable, to keep money generating in my pocket. And I think that's probably the realest thing that you're ever going to hear from a Heat platform on YouTube, guys. That's what this team is really about. Because if he was a Mark Cuban type of guy, there would have been stars on this team by now. We would have made a way for Donovan Mitchell to be here. We would have made a way for Damian Lillard to be here. But this, and I'm gonna say this because I'm side noting to a lot of stuff because I'm not good at time management on these videos. But you gotta be able to differentiate trying to get a bunch of undrafted no-names to a team and try to compete with them, and trying to get an all-star on this team or draft a guy and actually develop him. Because it's cute to draft or to sign a bunch of undrafted players and develop them through your system and development system and all this other good stuff. And that's fine and dandy and all, but you have to be able to draft talent and develop them also. You have to be able to go find free agents. Not through other players like Dwayne Wade, not through other all-stars, but through your own talent. Can you recruit someone to Miami as a front office? Can you do that? Because if you can't, then that's a problem, and needs to be a lot of things that needs to be changed in the front office, starting with Pat Riley. What people fail to realize as fans is a lot of these guys don't give a shit about the Miami Heat regimen. These kids nowadays, man, they don't give a fuck about 5% body fat. All that's bullshit. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's bullshit. The quote-unquote heat culture. It sounds good, but this ain't the military. These guys make too much money to really care about 5% body fat, the hardest working. They don't care about that. This is a money-driven league. This ain't the 90s. This ain't the 80s anymore. You got to change that mindset. No one wants to practice like they're be practiced by a military sergeant. No, these are multi-million-dollar billionaire athletes, assets coming to these teams, and while they do expect to win, they don't want to be ran into the ground either. I heard so many stories about Pat Riley expecting these guys to be at their own places by a certain time, don't be out all night at the club. These are grown men. You can't tell them what to do. There's too much micromanagement going on with this team. And that's guys talk in the NBA. They hear about this stuff. Do you really think guys are going to want to come to this team? If they get drafted, that's one thing. But a lot of these young guys of ages are not going to want to be, they're not attracted to that. So you're going to have to relax off of that shit. But I don't think Pat Riley will. That's why I believe Pat Riley needs to go. And I know it's not popular for me to say, but I do believe he needs to go. Pat Riley needs to go. It starts with Pat Riley and it has to end with him. He needs to go. And Eric Spoelstra needs to go right behind him. There has to be a different cultural change with this team, because I think that's the biggest problem right now. It's the culture. No one's going to join this team. This generation is different. They don't want to work that damn hard and then come to the game and they're fucking tired as shit. So that means you're going to have to change some things. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are a couple players in the NBA that are willing to do this, but those type of players don't really exist, guys. And the younger these guys are, they're not going to want to fucking work like military sergeants when they make millions of dollars. They don't want to do that. So the Miami Heat has a lot to do this off season. They're going to have to. Jimmy Butler wants to be traded before the 9th. I commend Jimmy Butler for leaving. I'm not happy that he's leaving, but I understand why. He wants to go to a team that's going to appreciate him, and I understand that. And this is a bad look on the Miami Heat for the future. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. He's probably going to get, if you ask me, I know I said I was going to make a separate video about this, but if you ask me, I hope he gets traded to the Houston Rockets or something so we can get Amen Thompson and Parker, or I think is it Jabari? I don't know. Get him and a couple picks and be done with that. But I definitely want something back for him. I don't want a bullshit trade. I don't want to trade to where we're not getting anyone valuable back. I want someone legit back. And I want someone that, it doesn't have to be an all-star type of caliber player like Butler, but it has to be how should I say this? They have to be valuable, man. They have to have some type of uprising if we're going to trade Butler away, because Butler is still a all-star type of player. So I do expect something back for him. Don't trade him for a bag of fucking chips. So you guys tell me what you think. It's a sad day for the Miami Heat fans, but I understand Butler, and I commend him. You don't stay with a team that doesn't respect you or doesn't appreciate your hard work. And Jimmy Butler has kept his team relevant for the last 4, 5, 6 years. And the fact that we're doing him like this it's a shame. It reminds me of the stuff we did with Dwayne Wade. And I'm still pissed off about that with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade should have never been on any other team than the Miami Heat. And that is 100% on the front office for that. You were not willing to go over luxury tax just to pay Dwayne Wade, the guy that made your franchise? That is fucking that is crazy. That is fucking crazy. But that's the type of people that Pat Riley and Mickey Arison are. And I'm not going to sit here as a Heat fan and praise these guys like all these other Heat fans. I tell the truth. And Pat Riley and Mickey Arison are about the dollar. They're about the money. They're about making money off of his franchise. And I'm too much of a hardcore Heat fan to really care for that. So, it's going to suck because once we lose Butler, we're not going to be a relevant team at all, guys. We're going to go back to the years of, no offense, but Justice Winslow and James Johnson and Deion White. We're going to go back to the years of that. Josh Richardson. We're going to go back to the years of in a hard-working team, but not good enough to go over the hump. And I'm just over that. I'm tired of that. It's been 11 years since we won a championship. How come teams like the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers, they get the win? They win stuff. They win stuff every 8, at the longest 8 years, 9, 10 years. Dude, it's been 11 years since we won a championship in the county. We're supposed to be a winning organization. What are we doing here? We're going to risk turning into the New York Knicks. We're going to risk turning into the Chicago Bulls. This video has been long enough. You guys tell me what you think. He left for 305 out. Let's get it.